I found her in a place where there was supposed to be nothing. The old entrance on the outskirts of the city was being prepared for demolition. The house had been empty for several years. The windows were clogged with plywood. The stairs crumbled. The smell of moisture, mold, and something metallic, similar to rust or blood, hung in the air. I photographed such places for myself. Not for social networks, not for exhibitions, just to have proof that they existed. On the 5th floor, there was an apartment without a door, only a dark rectangle, as if carved into the wall. Inside, there is one room, empty, without furniture, without a chandelier, without traces of life. But on the floor, exactly in the middle, there was a notebook, not dusted with dust, not wet. It's like he's just been put here. I leaned over and picked him up. An ordinary student's notebook in a dark cover without inscriptions. The paper yellowed, but did not crumble. I opened the first page and immediately felt a strange feeling, as if someone was looking at the back of my head. My name was written on the first page, completely, no mistake, in my language, my handwriting. I looked around mechanically. The apartment was empty. The stairs behind the back are deaf, dark. I turned the page. You think it's a joke, that someone just joked, found your data, wrote off the handwriting, but it's already cold inside. I read it twice, and only after the second time I realized that's exactly what I thought. Not before, not later. At the same moment, I closed the notebook. The heart was beating fast, but the mind was still trying to find an explanation. Stress, self-suggestion. Maybe I once wrote here myself, and I don't remember. Maybe it's just a coincidence. I put the notebook back on the floor and left. On the stairs, I caught myself thinking, what if someone is standing behind me now? I stopped, slowly opened the notebook. You didn't look back. Because you're afraid I'll be there. I was pierced by the cold. I don't remember how I went downstairs. I only remember that already outside, in the light, I felt ashamed. I laughed at myself. I took the notebook, and that was the first thing I did wrong. I hid it in a drawer at home. I didn't open it, didn't touch. I told myself that I would throw it out tomorrow, but I didn't sleep at night. I was lying in the dark and felt that something had changed in the apartment. Not sound, not light, the space itself, as if the walls were listening. Don't think about the notebook, I said to myself, and I thought. I got up, went to the table, took it out, opened on a random page. You opened me earlier than you planned, because I'm already here. Where is this? I whispered. The next line appeared right before my eyes, slowly, as if the ink was coming from inside the paper. In your head. I threw the notebook away as if it was hot. He fell to the floor and opened up. The pages turned themselves. I heard the paper crunching. How to write something, without a pen, without a hand. You think you're going crazy. It's normal. Everyone thinks so. Who are you? I asked. The page remained clean for a few seconds. And then, I am what remains when thoughts cease to be only yours. I grabbed the notebook and threw it in the trash. I took it to the balcony, closed the package, calmed down. An hour later, I found it on the table. The trash was empty. Since that day, I have stopped trusting silence. Because in the silence I heard him waiting. I tried not to think. Turned on TV, music, podcasts. Thoughts are like breathing. You can't turn them off. I thought, what if I think of something stupid? The notebook was closed, but I knew it was already written there. I opened it. You're thinking about nonsense, about meaningless words, about colors, but that won't help. I went further. I'm not writing what you want to think, and what you try not to think. The next page was my mother's name. I closed the notebook. Don't you dare, I whispered. He was silent. And then a line appeared. You remembered the last time she looked at you, and how you didn't come. My hands were shaking. It was true. I didn't tell anyone about it. The notebook began to get ahead of me. I just felt the emotion, and it was already recorded. I have not yet formulated the idea, and it was already there, completely, exactly, without errors. I understood. He doesn't read minds. He writes them. I tried the experiment. I sat down at the table, took a notebook, put it in front of me. Okay, I said out loud. Write something I don't think. The page was empty. I was waiting. A few minutes passed, and then I thought, he won't write anything. The ink appeared instantly. You think I'm silent, but I'm just waiting for you to formulate the doubt. I felt panic. You can't make me think, I shouted. Next page. You already think. And the longer you fight, the more I have. I realized that something worse than madness was happening. Madness is when you doubt, and here everything was too logical. The notebook didn't lie. I didn't fantasize. I didn't scare you for no reason. He was just fixing. And with each page, I felt that my own thoughts were getting slower. It's like I've read them after they've been written. One morning I woke up feeling like I had missed something. The notebook was lying open next to the bed. I didn't remember opening it. Last entry. You woke up. I didn't notice that I had written this before. Below is another line. You're not the first anymore. I ran to the bathroom. I looked in the mirror. My face was tired. My eyes are more empty than yesterday. I thought, it's a dream. In the mirror, I saw my lips move, but I didn't move them. I stopped leaving the house. People have become far away. Their words are late. I heard the phrases, but I knew what would happen next. Because the notebook has already written it for me, not in words, but in feeling. I opened it for the last time. There were many more pages than before. I don't remember reading most of them. The last page was empty. I sat and looked at her for a long time, and then I felt a strange lightness, as if the thought was not born in me, but somewhere behind. The ink appeared. Now you can rest. I wanted to ask from what, but the question has already been written, and the answer, too, because I think instead of you, I understood the last thing. The notebook was not cursed. It was empty. To me, when I was found, I was sitting at the table with a blank look. There was a notebook next to it. It had only one sentence. He doesn't think anymore, but that's enough.